Now, I can't confirm this, but I've seen it enough that I'm almost willing to believe it. So, for quite a few weeks, I've heard people mention that apparently the staff that work on the Newgate, around episode 3, a lot of the staff quit the studio because of poor working conditions, and pretty much since then, most of these episodes have been finished via outsourcing. Now, I tried looking it up, I didn't see anything, maybe I just did horrible Google searches, but I've seen the comment more than a few times over the weeks, and I'm almost willing to believe it, and even if it turns out not to be true, we do have to be honest with ourselves that this is an outsourced mess. I actually enjoy watching these episodes. This episode actually flew by relatively quick. Not 5 minutes quick, but, 12, 13 minutes, that's about how long this episode actually felt. But it is a visual mess. Could it be worse? 100%. It could be a 3D mess of a blob. But no one with a straight face can tell me characters that have walking animations like this. I'm looking at horses doing slow-mo gallops. The first scene we see of Shin in this episode, that's not an in-between frame. That's his face. Okay, whatever, he looks like that. 2 seconds later, he looks like this. 3 seconds later, he looks like this. The show is an inconsistent mess. It is. Now, the issue with me saying this is I'll have people say I'm being too harsh, I'm being a hater. And then there'll be other people who say I'm not harsh enough. It's like, no, the show is fun. It is. But for me, this is the most inconsistent show I've watched this year. Is there worse shows that have been produced this year? Probably. I just don't watch them because I don't like them. Simple as that. I like this show, and I honestly think it deserves better. It deserves a better studio, it deserves less outsourcing, because even if the whole team didn't actually quit, and it's just a lie that's been spread through the anime community, the only way you get this level of inconsistency is through outsourcing. It is. Like, there's not even a consistent style for the character. There's only one character who has a consistent art direction, and that's Schnee. Every other character changes character model. And I know it's gonna sound like perverted, but legitimately, the chest size on every character changes from one frame to the next. Mofos are switching between A to D cups every other frame. There's no freaking consistency, and I think the reason why this show is bad is because of a lack of consistency, a lack of in-house production, and I really think this is just an outsourced mess. And if we do get a season 2, please for the love of God give it to any other anime studio. But honestly, I'm waiting for episode 12 to wrap up and we get the confirmation. Season 2 this fall. And you just know it's going to be even worse visually. But I have full live reactions to all these episodes over on Patreon. If you want to see my full thoughts and commentary, it's going to be over there exclusively. Like, this is the thing. If I actually disliked the Newgate, I wouldn't make videos still on the channel. I've done that before. I'm like, hey, I just don't like the show anymore. I stopped watching it. Simple as that. But the thing is I criticize this show as much as I am because even though I have these issues visually, I like the VAs. The music is fire. The character interactions are quite enjoyable. Like that moment when Schnee realizes that Shin starts talking. Oh my god, I thought you left again. Stuff like that is actually pretty powerful. I generally enjoy this show and its world, but we're at a point now where, before, I would say the first half of this show, I was like, yeah, I get why people thought it was kind of like a whatever visual production, but it wasn't god-awful. I mean, you can look at the Skullface Jack fight. Hell, look at this episode in particular. I think this has one of the coolest designs of a monster I've seen this year. That thing was, I felt like you would be playing Elden Ring, and it'd be popping out of the lake trying to jump you. It was a cool fight, a cool design. But it's the fact that it's not, because when shows get bad, often people say, look at that 3D blob. Or look at that, oh my god, that face is so bad. The issue with the Newgate is the consistency or lack of consistency. Because it's easier to notice or not notice, I should say, if it's like, okay, Shin looks like this for 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes later it looks like, okay, this was clearly an outsourced scene. It's not the end of the world. But these mofos be switching back and forth, and it has you going, man. The thing is, and I'm gonna be honest with this, if this gets a season 2, and it's the same studio, the same staff listing, I probably won't watch it. If I want to watch more of the Newgate, I would just go read the source material at that. I probably won't, mind you, because, while there definitely has been moments of excellence, when the season's done, I'm probably done with the show. But I've had fun, overall. But if they came back with season 2, better production, stuff like that, yeah, maybe. But it doesn't feel like it's gonna get better visually if the studio keeps going on with it. And I think at that point, you're better off reading the source material. But it's unfortunate because the VAs are fantastic. The OST legitimately has moments where I'm like, this is some of my favorite music that I've heard this week. It goes from like synthwave to like whimsical wonder. It's really good in that department, but it's just really unfortunate when Shin's face, there's like 8 versions of Shin's face you'll see over the course of the show. The character's bust size will change every other frame. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. She looks flat-chested, and then it looks like she has double Ds, like every other frame. It makes no sense. And, you know, you can call me a pervert, you can call me this or that, but it's like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, literally just look. And it's weird because we're in a season where you have shows like Chilling in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers, reincarnated as a 7th prince. You have Go-Go Loser Ranger, sure, not in the same ballpark, but there are these shows that have these very distinct art styles and even have some basic moments, but you never look at it and say, damn, it feels like that was outsourced. Where with this, I don't even know what scene isn't outsourced in an episode. And that's an issue, because at the end of the day, the show is ridiculously fun. I love the fight scene that we got with that gremlin thing. It had like a butthole for a hand though, I'm not gonna lie. That was a little sus, but the rest of the design was really cool. All that's good. The general banter and stuff's good, but when my biggest takeaway is just like, how is this show getting less consistent? We got an issue. But, you know, it is what it is. Do I regret watching Newgate? No, because I've generally enjoyed the actual characterization and stuff, and I think it's fun. Unfortunately, I just thought we were getting above junk food level, but now I feel like we're back to junk food level, but I still like junk food. I'm not gonna say I don't. But it's just like, please, just give it to any other I'm convinced... Now, this might be too harsh, and, you know, I apologize, but, like, at this point, I feel like we found someone in a cardboard box. We got some guy from Detroit that they hired for 20 bucks, and some guy from China, a couple guys from Japan, and probably a guy from Australia who's never animated in his life. And they're the ones producing these episodes, because what the hell is this consistency? Like I said, it may not seem like it, but I'm frustrated because I legitimately like this show and I think it deserves better, but, you know, people probably call me a hater, other people will say I'm not being harsh enough, and maybe there'll be like a select few who are like, no, I completely get it. I said it last week, apparently everyone hates the Newgate. And I still like it, but it's just getting harder and harder to acknowledge it as I don't even know what is typical art style supposed to be anymore, because the damn faces and walk animations change every other frame. But let me know what you're feeling, because I'm actually interested, because there's been a lot more people upset with the visuals prior to me being upset with the visuals, so I'm interested to see, because there's still a lot of people watching this show, so I think in general, people like the general show but hate the production. But let me know what you're feeling, and if it did get a season 2 and it was the same studio, would you watch it, or would you maybe try and drop? Because that's probably where I'm sitting at, but let me know down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Kanagi, Miguel Frances, Dark Lord Dashi, Kim Andre Olsen, Gavin Lee, Dreadseed, Jacob Winslow, Troy, Rikamatsu, Jeffo369, and Game Senpai. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.